Hey guys, it's Dim, it's Mindset Arc podcast, and it's episode 30, which is quite awesome. I've been recording this for already a month. So fucking cool. So, today I want to talk about the topic that I actually recorded in previous video, which was without sound, and I decided to split it in two. So, it was good for something. Me recording it without sound was good, actually good. So, okay, I'll just check the sound again. Um, I wanted to talk about the how you can reframe your fears to be something that you can win actually. So, I was talking about loser's mindset versus winner's mindset, the concept that I took from Andy from Kill Your Inner Loser, and it worked quite awesomely. Like when you want, so the concept is something like you will get more productive if you focus on what you can achieve and not running away from something that you're afraid to have. So I talked in this video that was deleted about my fear of being alone, because at that morning, yesterday morning, I was feeling quite bad, to be honest. Like I had a lot of stuff to process. I had a lot of stuff in my relationships and my like people who I'm seeing here, and just overall feeling of being in a new country by myself. My coaching group has ended. Like I basically remained alone by myself, and it hit me finally after almost a year of traveling between countries and being here. And like I wrote a lot of what do I found. Okay, I'm not gonna be really good at talking today, it seems, again, but okay, that's good. Like I just have the practice of talking. So I usually find that when you have some fears, you can write them on a list of paper and it becomes easier. At least you can look at it later. At least you know with what you want to work with later. And it's already there. So when you're feeling bad, when you're feeling like you cannot handle all of these fears, at least do some effort and try to write them down. So after, when you will be feeling better in some way, when you will have energy to handle these statements, these fears, or even just a couple of minutes or hours later, it can happen that even while you're feeling overwhelmed by all of these emotions, you still can find in yourself something to process them. So why is it really important to write that? Firstly, they are really elusive. These thoughts in our head, these stories that we create about. One of mine was was afraid of. I was afraid to remain alone here. I was afraid that I'm not important to anyone. And yeah, that is a story that requires investigation, because ultimately, like, this fear is kind of irrational, because I always have myself to support. So, but this fear comes from really early childhood, I guess. I'm not a psychologist, but I could totally see that. And so it takes a lot of time to reframe. It it appears a lot and a lot more even after I handle it. It becomes much less intense, but it's still there. So what I actually did after, like, I wrote a lot of these fears, like being alone, like uh, something that I wanted to do with my relationships, about, yeah, like that was the two themes that concerned me at yesterday. And that is an action by itself. So after you wrote your fears, you can work with them. You can try to investigate it. You can ask questions about these fears because they are not they are unchangeable when you put them down on paper. They will not try to evade you in like you always do in your mind. It usually happens. They will be on paper and you can question them. They are just there for you to open up. But what I found, I took a long detour about this, right? I was talking about playing to win and playing not to lose, about this concept. And it applies here as well, it applies to fears. Fears can be reframed as something that you can actually achieve, that's something you can win. So for example, the fear of I'm afraid to be alone. I'm afraid to, how did I phrase that? I'm afraid to remain alone, I guess. To something like that. So it can be reframed as something that, because even if I achieve that, even if I counteract that fear, even if I like go all in to trying to not let it happen, the best I can do is to be by myself, be like I am right now. So I cannot actually win here. I can just run away from something negative that could perceivingly negative, right? That could happen. But I cannot actually add to my life by doing that. The most I can do with that mindset, with I don't want, I'm afraid to that this happens. The most I can do with that is to stay exactly where I am right now. What can we do about that? To and yeah, like staying as I am right now, it can be useful, but it's not as motivating. It doesn't give a lot of interest, and it probably a kind of depressive state. So if we can reframe it to something that I can look forward to something you can achieve in the future, it creates motivation. It creates something that you will look forward to. You will make effort to make it happen because it improves your life. So for example, fear about I'm afraid to be alone becomes like I want people in my life that can be close to me. I want people in my life that I can share something with, who can support me, who I can support, who I can give love, gratitude. I want these people in my life. I want to find them. I want to have them. And it can come from the place of desperation a little bit, but still, it's more actionable to think about what I can achieve in the future. And then, yeah, it is important to accept current reality. So if that doesn't happen, if I phrase it like I want to get these people in my life and I don't, I stay exactly where I am. I'm not losing. Now I can lose something that I already have, but it is, I'm not worried about it right now. Usually when something happens, it's much easier to process than our fears about it, than our anxiety about it. I like the phrase by Byron Katie. how the reality is usually kinder than we think it is. And that is definitely true. That is what I found to be true. What we think about. We think about hundreds different scenarios how we can lose. Usually when we feel anxiety, when we feel fear, we think about every possible scenario when we can lose. Sometimes there comes something exciting that we look forward to, and then it's totally overwhelmed by the amount of things that can go fucking wrong. And that's what I've been doing. What I've been doing before. The video that I recorded yesterday, that I've been holding back. I've been doing exactly that. I think I talked about winners losers mindset yesterday as well. So I'm kind of repeating myself, but this video is about reframing the fears with that paradigm. So you can just replace something that you're afraid of receiving. You can replace it with something that you want to achieve, and you will get much more motivation out of it. You will want to do that. You will look forward to it. Your mental state just becomes hundreds times better. You might have to repeat that a couple of times, but it still works a little bit. At least a little bit. I am really bad with words today. So, that's what I wanted to talk about. And I'm gonna finish it right here because I cannot speak. And I think I need to rest a little bit. These couple of days were, even after I started my switch of wanting to give a lot of stuff, wanting to give, the reality just decided to test me on it. Really fucking test. I recorded my video, it was without sound. I had a lot of overwhelming and anxious thoughts about my relationships. I had a lot of work situations that I needed to address too. And today I was just feeling completely miserable once again. And I will talk about it next time. Again, I think. Again, that will be a video about an episode about how to do something. But yeah, that will be the next one. What I want to leave you with today is, firstly, take notice of your fears. Take notice. Just investigate them and see what they are about, what is underneath. And when you find these statements that run you underneath your stories, try to turn them around to something that you can look forward to. I don't know how to end this. Having fun doesn't seem like a good ending for that. So look forward to your fears. Nah, that's a bad outcome. But whatever. I'm gonna ramble a lot more if I don't end this now, so have a good life, and that's it.